Hey guys, it's your boy Mark Sanders back with another video here with Rank Wednesday number 67. Yes, Rank Wednesday number 67. This is going to be me ranking all of my Universal Champions in my WWE 2K series. In my storyline, the Universal Championship is no more. I never saw it as equal to the WWE Championship in my series, and that's the only world title in my series from this point on. But I do have some good memories with the Universal Championship in my series, and I'm never gonna pretend it never existed. You know what I mean? So yeah, there are I think 9 Universal Champions in my series, and yeah, I'm gonna rank all 9 of them from weakest to best. Now keep in mind, honestly, most of these are like mediocre Universal Champions, to be honest. That just shows you I really never saw it as equal to the WWE Championship, despite the WWE Championship only having 3 champions so far, honestly. And I love how rare I have the WWE Championship change hands. I'm really trying to bring all real great stuff to that championship. I love that championship. Anyway, all 9 Universal Champions in my series ranked. We'll start up with number 9, and that is Moose. Moose is by far the Universal Champion in my series that I forget about. To be honest, I forget that he was ever Universal Champion in my series. Honestly, I forget that he was ever champion, that he was in my series, period. But like I said, none of these are bad champions. Most of them are just okay champions, though, and he's definitely there, although he had such a banger of a match with Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship at Battleground in my series. That was such an awesome match. That was actually the first pay-per-view main event that I ever did for my series. And what an awesome main event that was. Seriously, if you watch that match, it just gets you all pumped up and excited, and you never know who's going to win. That was such an awesome match. Love it. But other than that, Moose, why did I make him champion? I took him out of the series very soon after that. But you know what? I still love that match he had with Rollins in my series. And yeah, number 8, Baron Blade. This guy was the first ever 2-time Universal Champion in my series. Why did I make him the first ever 2-time Universal Champion? Shock value, honestly. I had him defeat Seth Rollins, who was the inaugural champion. More on him later, of course. But Baron Blade, I should have waited till 2K19 to have him win the title, I think, because he actually was a character, playable character, not you recreate him in the core menu, and you know what I mean? But Baron Blade, he was in my series, and I don't have much to say about him. I mean, he was the first ever 2-time champion. I did have quite a few good storylines with him and Rollins and all that, but yeah, he was the first ever 2-time Universal Champion. I regret it, but I'm not going to pretend that it never happened. Okay, I'm going to own up to the past in my series and all that. And yeah, Baron Blade, I wish I had more to say. I hate that I can't think of more to say for this, but Baron Blade, number 8. Number 7, Roman Reigns. I can't believe he's this low. I had planned to make Roman Reigns the champion in my series for years, actually, and he finally won the Universal Championship right before I made the title defunct. Well, not right before, but I had him defeat Bishop Wilson with lots of cheating to finally win the title. And honestly, it's the stories that I had with the Universal Championship with Roman Reigns that really makes me love what I did with Reigns in my series. I had the story of him so bad for years wanting to be Universal Champion. He fought Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship at my first WrestleMania. He failed to win the Universal Championship there. And there was really nothing with him and the Universal Championship until, he fought Bishop Wilson for the championship. And he lost the first match with Bishop. And then at Money in the Bank, he did lots of cheating because he was so desperate to finally become champion. He finally did. That story was good. And then at the Royal Rumble, like 63 days after he won the Universal Championship, he got screwed by Bobby Lashley. And then Bishop also became a 2-time Universal Champion. And then at Elimination Chamber, he choked out Lashley in the Triple Threat match to become a 2-time Universal Champion. And then at WrestleMania, he was defeated by Lashley. WrestleMania 4, that is. And yeah, that was the end of his Universal Championship time. But yeah, the stories about him as Universal Champion and wanting to chase the belt, those in themselves are awesome. And I love those, and that's probably why, he's not like lost or anything. Like the stories involved him with the championship in my series are great. His 2 reigns themselves, not the best, honestly. But like the stories I told about them, fantastic. But I'm glad that I finally had him be Universal Champion in my series nonetheless. And I'm happy with how his reigns turned out for the stories, maybe not the reigns themselves, but you know what I mean. I'm not trying to say any puns intentionally, like, because his name is Roman Reigns, and I'm also saying Reigns as in championship reigns, you know what I mean. But number 6, I'm going with Bobby Lashley. Now, Bobby Lashley, again, for my final, until I brought it back one time to be SummerSlam 4, for my final 2K19 pay-per-view, I had Bobby Lashley at Starrcade defeat Seth Rollins' legendary Universal Championship reign to become the Universal Champion finally. That was such an awesome moment that I'm proud of. And he had some good matches in his reign. Like his match with Hulk Hogan when he lost the belt was pretty fun. I had a match with him and Andrade because I feel like that's a match that no one, like a match that's never happened that no one thinks about. So that's pretty much why I did it. And a really fun fight, 4-way or 5-way that he had at Hell in a Cell. That was fun too. Really, it was the moment when he beat Seth Rollins, and even the moment when he beat Roman Reigns. It's like the moments when he won them are like by far the highlights of his reigns. Yeah, I guess it's somewhat the same with Roman. Like the stories about him in the championship in my series are like what really counts for him and all that. But yeah, I don't really have anything more to say. Speaking of Hulk Hogan, number 5, Hulk Hogan. Yep, Hulk Hogan defeated Bobby Lashley to win the Universal Championship in my series. Why did I do that? I think I wanted to have Mark Sanders versus Hulk Hogan at Survivor Series 2, and also eventually Goldberg versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship. Those I'm really proud of, actually. Because really it was like, again, this is like another one where like the first, like the bookends matches are like the best part of the reign by far, Like I said, most of my Universal Champions were pretty mid, to be honest, which is why I got rid of the title entirely, because if I'm not going to really put it all in for, at least a majority of the champions, then I don't think it should be there. But anyway, Hulk Hogan is Universal Champion. I'm glad I had him fight Goldberg at WrestleMania for the title, and also being defeated by Goldberg for the title with cheating, of course, because, yeah. And I love the match I had with myself and Goldberg. I mean, not Goldberg, and Hulk Hogan at some Survivor Series. That was great. But Hulk Hogan, other than that, I don't know what more to say, honestly. And yeah, he beat Bobby Lashley for the Universal Championship. But yeah. And now, I think 4 onwards are good Universal Champions, honestly. And you're going to be like, bruh, did you really have to put this at number 4 that freaking high? And yes, my 4th best Universal Champion out of the 9, in my eyes, is Mark Sanders. Yep, myself. Yep. I've only had one Universal Championship match. That was when I defeated my best friend Bishop in the main event of my most recent pay-per-view, Stand and Deliver, to unify the WWE Championship and Universal Championship. So I am the final Universal Champion. This is the only match my character has ever had for the Universal Championship. But you know what? I think it was by far the best match at that. And I'm the only one who ever held both the WWE Championship and Universal Championship simultaneously in my series. And for that, I love those. I'm so proud of the match I had with Bishop at Stand and Deliver. That was such an amazing 28-minute long main event. Just New Japan style main event, and it was for both world titles and also to unify them. So no more Universal Championship up to that. So yeah, I'll gladly put myself as the 4th best Universal Championship. But the fact that even though it is the one match, the one Universal Championship match that Mark Sanders in my series had, it was by far the best Universal Championship match in my opinion. And also the fact that just with one match that I believed he was the 4th best Universal Champion, that really just showed you how little I really put into this championship over the course of my series, which is why I think it was the right decision for it to go. But still, regardless, 4th best Universal Champion in my eyes, just for that one match. It was amazing. I'm not saying you should check it out, but I'm really proud of it. I loved it so much. It really is a New Japan main event style type thing. Yes, now we're going to number 3. Number 3 is Goldberg. Yep, Goldberg, I think, is my 3rd best Universal Champion. I mean, he won the Universal Championship at WrestleMania, defeating Hulk Hogan. And I had him. He's the only one in my series who held it for over a year. The only one who held the Universal Championship for over 365 days. And, you know, a lot of his matches weren't the best, I will admit. Like, honestly, I don't know what the heck happened with his matches with Brock Lesnar in my series for the Universal Championship. Like, those really could have been so much better. I don't know what it was. Those were so much slower than I thought they would be. But I couldn't really do anything. I just was like, alright, get those matches over with. Whatever, you know. But, and, you know, he lost the Universal Championship to Bishop Wilson in my series in such an awesome main event at WrestleMania 3. It was only like 7 minutes long, but man, it was everything you could have wanted in a really quick, awesome, hard, like, finisher fest match. That was so much fun, and, you know, some great matches too, like Finn Balor. Goldberg vs. Finn Balor at Backlash was really good, actually. Like, that was actually a really great technical match. Some really fun squashes, too, like when he squashed AJ Styles and Randy Orton for the title. Like, those were really cool. Those were really fun matches, and like I said, he's the only one in my series to go into the main event of a WrestleMania as Universal Champion. Yeah. Again, it wasn't a perfect reign, you know, but, you know, it was the only one that lasted more than a year. So, and I'm proud of it. So, yeah. And number 2, and you're like, of course, you put your best friend at number 2, Bishop Wilson. Yep, my best friend, Bishop Wilson, is number 2. You're like, oh, you're just saying that because he's your best friend. I think that has a good amount to do with it, I'll say. But at the same time, he really was like a top tier Universal Champion. He was the first, like, core. He was the first created wrestler to win the Universal Championship in my series, and the only one until it was unified by Mark Sanders, me, in the series. He won the main event of WrestleMania to win that title. He had a really fun match at Super Showdown with Big Show. He annihilated literally every other competitor at Extreme Rules in that 8-pack challenge elimination match. That was insane. And of course, the feud with Roman Reigns, that awesome Survivor Series, you know, brand supremacy match with Mark Sanders, where it was just 10 minutes of finisher fest. That was amazing. And then, and he's the only, and I'm very proud of this too, especially the only 3-time Universal Champion in that ever was in my series. And that was sort of a last minute decision, because I was actually gonna, when Bobby Lashley defeated Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania 4, my original plan was to have Bobby Lashley versus the WWE Champion Mark Sanders at Stand and Deliver for both titles. That was actually my plan, but then I was like, well, there's a whole bunch of 2-time champions, and Bishop Wilson, he does have a rematch clause. I guess I could do a rematch clause thing and have Bishop Wilson on the SmackDown after WrestleMania, have them fight, have Bishop win the title, become the only 3-time Universal Champion, and that is exactly what I did, and I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of my boy Bishop for being the only 3-time Universal Champion in my series. I am so happy about that. It was getting frustrating actually seeing so many wrestlers tied for the most world titles in or the most Universal titles, Seth Rollins, Baron Blade, Roman Reigns, and then Bobby Lashley and Bishop himself. All of them were tied for most Universal Championship reigns. So yeah, I was like, you know what, Bishop will be the only one on that hill, and he was. Although Roman Reigns never got a rematch too, I don't care. Alright? I don't care. In fact, I'm not even going to have Roman Reigns wrestle for a while in my series. I just don't know what to do with him, honestly. So that's why I had him be Bobby Lashley's manager. But number 2, my best friend, Bishop Wilson. Very proud. And in fact, now that I think about it, maybe it should have been number 1. But anyways, number 1, Seth frickin' Rollins. Yep, the first ever and best Universal Champion in my series. I think I was just so excited to have him as Universal Champion in my series, and I still remember when I started making Universe Mode posts on back at the end of 2017, and I was like, yep, Seth Rollins is my Universal Champion, and it was just so much fun just to talk about Seth Rollins as champion on Facebook and all that. Before I actually, started the video series, and Seth Rollins, he's had some. He was a better Universal Champion in my series than in real life, to be honest. But Seth Rollins, and some bangers he had too, with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. That was an amazing match, and his TLC match with Baron Blade. Far out, that match was so much fun. Although that my commentary in that was so freaking cringe. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. I must have been so tired. But I'm very proud of that. That was such a fun ass match. And some fun storyline stuff too, like when he fought Batista, when he put his Universal title against Batista at Money in the Bank in my series. And then it seemed like Batista won the title, but then the decision was reversed. And Batista actually lost by DQ, fun stuff like that. And when he finally lost the title to Bobby Lashley, and when he shockingly lost his first Universal title to Baron Blade too. In some ways I still think maybe I should have put Bishop at number 1, but when I read the list last night, Seth Rollins, first and best Universal Champion. And I'm really proud of how this video came out. I was actually really worried that this video would turn out crap. But yeah, all 9 of my Universal Champions ranked in my series. The Universal Championship is no more now that Mark Sanders unified it, became the last ever Universal Champion at Stand and Deliver. And I'm there's stuff about it I'm gonna miss, but honestly, I really just never put that too much love into it, So the WWE Championship from this point on is the only World Championship in my WWE 2K series. I might, very, very big might, put in the World Heavyweight Championship eventually. But hope you guys enjoyed. Proud of this video. Peace out, y'all.